here. He's waiting on baby Harold. Is Harold still a name?
Yes,
Placeholder?
Herald. Harold. We're heralding the angel
Oh, I
arriving.
love
Harold.
that.
The herald
I
angels
might be
sing.
too loud. I
Oh,
got to
okay.
keep it low.
At least there's no baby yet that you're waking up. Okay, so today Dr. Kiltz is not here. He's a special guest on the show. I'm hosting with Dr. Nelson. And we have Amy Hasp, but I got to take this thing off so I can read their Amy Hasp, a carnivore in secret. Oh, wow. That's fun. And of course, Lynn, midlife carnivore and team leader at the Healing Humanity Project. So Dr. Nelson says we put the timer on now. And Lynn, give us your 5-minute elevator pitch about carnivore.
Oh, okay. Well, for those who don't know me, I've been carnivore since the end of May of 2023. After I had to retire from nursing, was diagnosed with mast cell activation syndrome and became totally disabled. And if you don't know about mast cell activation syndrome, it is an immune system disease, and my mast cells are dysfunctional. They react to all sorts of crazy things. At the time, I didn't really know what all I was reacting to, but it affects pretty much every organ, every system of the body, from the brain down to the joints, the muscles, the bones, the heart, the lungs, the GI tract, so it's a complete misery. And I had to end up retiring from nursing. I went on medical leave, had to retire from nursing. And I was also very morbidly obese as well. And after about a year on medical leave, I had gained even more weight, and I had become more and more dysfunctional, struggling to walk. And so my husband said, why don't you try carnivore again? I had done carnivore for about 6 weeks back in 2022, I think. And I did well with it. But back then I thought it was all just about weight loss. And I lost some weight, but then I quit doing it and I gained everything back. And it took complete desperation. I could see myself looking into the future getting worse and worse. I was having anaphylactic reactions. I was needing to be in the ER, call 911, and couldn't go anywhere because I was always reacting to things. And it was very, very scary. And but I was seeing myself becoming more and more dependent on my family. And all I could see in my future was being a cripple. And so I started carnivore, and I asked my husband, please do it with me. And he agreed. And the rest is history. It's been very unbelievable. It has healed me. I've had to be very low histamine. I did the lion diet for about a year, and I'm able to deviate just a little bit from the lion diet now. I can't have bacon and eggs, but before I did pretty much beef, lamb, salt, water for about a year. And that was what really turned the corner for me with healing. I've lost about 113 pounds on the scale. I do use a smart scale, so I can actually calculate my actual fat loss, which is 140 pounds, because I've gained a lot of muscle and bone. And so I'm getting healthier, getting stronger, and working with Healing Humanity, and also co-writing books with Amy.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah. Will you say that, to try to simplify, some people might not be aware of what mast cell activation syndrome is. Will you say it's like having an allergic reaction almost constantly, whether it's mild to severe?
Yeah. So at baseline, you feel horrible, like you're coming down with the flu. And there's a variety of symptoms, from gut issues and nausea, heart palpitations, trouble getting a deep breath, extreme crippling fatigue, brain fog, couldn't get my words out. And dealing with patients, that was completely not safe at all. I couldn't even speak. I was slurring my speech. But yeah, it's basically, I would have a baseline of feeling horrible, and then I'd have these acute reactions. And I I always explain, our mast cells are important part of our immune system, and they're there to help mount an immune response. But when you have mast cell activation syndrome, it's like the whole fire department shows up, and it's not even that there's not even really a fire there, or it's a tiny little fire that you could just put out with a fire extinguisher. But yet the whole fire department shows up, and it's just a major overreaction. And it's pretty miserable. It is supposedly there's no cure for it, and it's just progressive. It keeps getting worse as you get older. And but I don't have to take rescue meds any longer. I don't have to take all my antihistamines any longer. I'm not afraid to go out any longer because I just don't have the reactions anymore. And I had the most horrible rosacea. And you've seen my pictures. It was just horrific. And now my skin is clear, and my gut is in good shape. And yeah,
it can be quite distressing, I think. And
very.
you don't know what's going to trigger it. But you're doing much better, not barely taking any medications, right?
Yeah. I have.
I don't know if you had any pictures, but where could we see those pictures? Little bit
I can actually share. I have some that I had shared with Carrie a while back.
We're going to have her link and Amy's on the description now. Yeah.
What's that?
There's they're linked to their channels.
Oh yeah, let me do that. Let me do that right now.
I may not have them. I'll see. I'll find them.
I think we have seen the pictures here, and that it's a remarkable difference. You look completely different.
Totally.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if anyone wants to see the pictures, the before pictures, you can just definitely go to my channel and see them. But it's not just the weight. I mean, I look like a different person weight wise, but it's the rosacea to me was a reflection of the inflammation in my body. And I'll look for them, and if I can find them, I'll pull them up later and show. But yeah.
So, Amy, good morning. You're in Texas, is it?
Yes, I live in Fort Worth.
Yay! We're having a meetup soon, Amy.
Fort Worth?
Austin.
No, in Austin. Yes, I'll be there.
Yay! It's so exciting.
Right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and you have the completely detailed, comprehensive history in 5 minutes.
Well, it's kind of easy, actually, because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a genetic disorder. It's a connective tissue disorder. And so it just means that I don't make good collagen. And because of that, I have a whole bunch of other things that are wrong with me. At least 70 diagnoses. Now, if I lived on a planet where everybody had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I would be so normal. But since I'm here on Earth, it's a little more difficult to manage my health. And so I also have osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a brittle bone disorder. It's very rare to have these two together, evidently. I also have mast cell activation disorder. I also have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I also have about 6 congenital heart disorders because of the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So basically, your body is held together by your collagen. Collagen's like your glue that holds your body together. And so I don't make good collagen. So I dislocate joints a lot. I pull muscles, tear tendons and ligaments for no particular reason. Excuse me.
I have a question, sorry to interrupt. When you were a child, because this is something that you've had all your life, and when you were a child, how flexible were you?
Very flexible, very flexible. I did not even know that I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome until I was 35 or almost 40 actually, which is also very common. All the kids in school that can do all the party tricks, those are the EDS kids, and they just don't know. They don't know that they have EDS. You can do, like, for instance, I never show this, by the way, but you can pull your thumb down to your arm, and bend your fingers back really, really far, and don't hurt yourself. Don't anyway try it. You'll hurt yourself.
My brother does all that stuff, and I just found out that he has that. He's in his 30s.
So it's you're older when you get a diagnosis. But here's the deal. I've always been extremely overweight as well, because all of the, PCOS, hypothyroidism, all this stuff. So when I started carnivore, I was using a wheelchair for about 5 years because I couldn't leave my home without it. I always say I couldn't even stand up long enough to cook an egg when I started carnivore. And so I did not do this for weight loss. I did it strictly for my health. Technically, my real reason to do it was to try to stay alive because I was very suicidal, because I was so hopeless, so disabled. I couldn't take care of myself or my home. My family has all passed away. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. So it was just me trying to take care of myself, and I couldn't. And someone from my church told me about carnivore, and I thought, okay, I'll do 90 days. If I hate it after 90 days and nothing's better, I don't ever have to do it again a day in my life. If I feel better, then I'll keep doing it. And so I started doing things such as eating pre-cooked hamburger meat so I could just stick it in the microwave. I watched a lot of Laura Spat and figured out where I could go to get things to eat, fast food that are carnivore. I eventually, probably, I guess, maybe about a month in, my head to toe pain went away. I'm like Lynn. I started every morning I would wake up, my pain level would be around a 7 or 8 starting for the day. Would dislocate something 2 or 3 times a day.
Did you wake up what happened when you woke up? Whenever you woke up in the morning, were you aware of the pain immediately?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I used to sleep about 2.5 to 3 hours a night, never all at the same time, because my pain was waking me up, for one. But yes, you wake up in pain. You know you're in pain because usually my shoulder was dislocated or my wrist was stuck like this, and I had to, or my neck was stuck. I literally have to, move my neck with my hands.
How long on carnivore did it take for you to start noticing? Actually, to me, it was like, wait a second, I'm not having pain.
Yes, it's so funny because I got to where I was like, something's different, something's missing. Oh yeah, my headache that I've had for 4 years is gone.
Wow.
It was good, a little bit comical, but
How long did it take, more or less?
So probably about a month in, my overall head to toe pain was gone. I still, to this day, it's gone. I still have pain here and there, but the pain is not as intense. I don't hurt as long. And when I injure myself, now I dislocate something maybe 2 or 3 times a week instead of 2 or 3 times every day. I started January 20th. I've been doing this for a year. By the second week of March, I was able to put my wheelchair in storage because I didn't need it anymore. So it didn't take very long. I had an echo done recently. I have mitral and tricuspid regurg in my heart, and it always says mild, but this time I think the mitral, I probably should pay attention to which one. I think the mitral valve, it said trivial, which means that it's getting better. That regurg is getting better. I also have an ASD and a PFO. Those are 2 holes in my heart that cause some bidirectional shunting. And so with that, I have a hard time breathing sometimes. POTS can make me extra tired, getting up, sitting down.
And you've had those since birth, or were they congenital, or?
They're congenital. All of it's congenital. I was born with POTS as well because it kind of goes with EDS. If you have EDS, you're probably going to have POTS, you know.
Because of
But
the
MCAS.
yes,
the arteries.
Yeah.
And everything.
MCAS, EDS, and POTS are all very much together. And Amy has predominantly EDS. I have predominantly mast cell, but I also have a milder version of EDS, and I have orthostatic intolerance. The three of those go together. So often people have one. They maybe if they're lucky, get diagnosed with one. Usually it's many specialists over the course of your life that can't figure you out. And so
Wow.
if you're lucky enough to get diagnosed with one, you probably need to look into the others because there's such a commonality with these.
The thing with
illnesses.
EDS is there is not, that's why it's called a syndrome. There is not one particular type. You can have literally hundreds of variations, and even genetically, it's not the same mutation in everyone. You know, it's an interesting disorder. It's not common. 40 years, I've probably seen 2 or 3.
Actually, Dr. Nelson, to be quite honest, it is very common. The problem is doctors haven't recognized it to see enough patients because EDS patients get diagnosed with everything under the sun except for EDS. How I found out I had it, I have a friend who's an orthopedic surgeon, and I was always complaining, oh, my elbow hurts, or my wrist, or my leg hurts. And finally he said to me one day, how far can you bend your little finger back? And I was like, what does that have to do with my elbow? Please explain. And so we went through a thing called the Beighton scale, and you can look that up. It's a series of how flexible you are, but you have to score 4 or 5 on that scale. I score 9. But he said, oh, well, you have a connective tissue disorder. Just go home and look it up. It answered everything that was ever wrong with me my entire life. And it was so validating. But then I thought, but now what do I do with it? It's progressive. The osteogenesis imperfecta, I have type 1, which doesn't affect you until adulthood. And so I didn't break bones growing up, but I've broken about 6 bones in my left foot from things like really hard things like taking your shoe off and putting your foot on the ground. I would break a bone. But since carnivore, I have not broken a bone all year long. That's amazing.
Great.
I'm able to get out and exercise a little bit without feeling like I need to come in, sit down and rest for 4 or 5 days. I can take care of myself now. My depression was awful, really bad. That was the first thing that went away. It's like literally like a curtain was drawn open over my mind. And my creativity is just off the chart because my mind is so clear. It's been amazing.
Okay, so Lynn mentioned books. What is this about books? And this is why we have 2 people here who've been collaborating on books. So who wants to explain?
Let me start, and then I'll let Lynn finish with them. But you know what? I've always been interested in helping people and helping kids because my mom put me on my first diet when I was 8 years old. And she, of course, thought she was helping me, but she didn't explain to me that it was for my health. I took it as she didn't like the way I looked. So it really messed me up as a kid, for a long time. I wanted to help kids in my situation. And so our dear friend, Rebecca Bavery, Lynn and I knew her separately, and I told her, I want to write children's books. She goes, oh, I know a lady that wants to do that. I need to hook y'all up. So Lynn went last year to the meetup, right in, well, actually it was a different one, but in Austin. And so I drove down, Hack Your Health. I drove down and met Lynn, and I said, hey, I want to write books for kids. And she goes, oh, I want to do that too. And so from there, we just decided this is what we're doing. And so
we had both already published separately.
I just want to clarify something because people keep asking, and some may not have noticed. Dr. Kiltz is here, but he's in the chat.
He's hiding.
You are in the right place. This is his live.
We're just hosting today while he's on baby watch.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. So you met in Austin, decided to start collaborating on this, right?
Yes, yes. And so we've published four books so far together.
That's a
And
lot.
I do want to,
In how many months?
we'll see. We met officially, was it June of last year?
Yeah, I think
Was
it
it the last day of May and first few days of June, right?
Yeah, and I did.
But we
and I
finished our
did,
first one
I did want
July.
to say too, I did find those slides, Alia,
Oh,
that I
good.
had
Oh, good.
of my.
Can you
So
share? Are you able to present? Oh, good.
yeah,
I guess.
now these are old. I'm actually, my after is much better now. That was over a year ago. And so, but that
Yeah,
was my
you
before.
can see it on your face right now. I mean, when you look at
Oh
the
yeah.
live, even
I was probably maybe halfway through my weight loss of where I'm at right now. But that was, yeah, that was a before. And there's more than one slide. Somewhere in there you could see my rosacea too. Okay, there's my rosacea. So that's how bad it was, which I always say is a reflection of the inflammation in my body. But anyways, I just wanted to show you those. You can take them down.
Okay.
Yeah, I have one too. As a
Awesome.
matter of fact, if I can get it, well, might take me a moment. Sorry.
Well, let me
Go ahead, Lynn. I'll let you know.
Share about the books. Okay, so we have 4 books that these are carnivore books for children. And the first one that we did it's a comic book, and it's an activity book and a coloring book. And this is called The Superhuman Power for Humanity. Some of the proceeds from this book go to the Healing Humanity documentary project. And then we did a second book, which is some of the proceeds from this book are going to Dr. Barry's American Diabetes Society, and they star his children and Granny Barry. It's called Sugar Cubie, the Sugar Monster, and the Superhuman Power Foods for Humanity. Super cute illustrations. We got Bonnie and Beckett and Granny Barry all through the book. Very cute story.
Aww.
And then we're doing a series that's going to probably take us a whole year because they're about the holidays. So we do have a Christmas book that we did called Candy Chaos and the Santa Cure, about the elves going crazy eating sugar. And a lot of it is about just like teaching kids that beef, bacon, butter, and eggs, they're superheroes. We've made them into superheroes. And they're learning that sugar's bad for them. Beef, bacon, butter, and eggs are healthy for them. They fuel their body, their brains, make them feel good. And so then our latest book, which is still in time for Valentine's Day, it's called How to Say I Love You. And this is a really cute book about children who live in a little town called Valentine Way, and a little lady loses her cat, and they want to help her find their cat, but they want to get paid. And in Valentine Way, they get paid candy. And so she's teaching them that you can tell people you love them and show your love through giving and sharing, helping others, and you don't have to give candy. And so there's also a lot of exercises in the back of the book, little scenarios of showing children how they can help others, and some questions that will help you interact with your child, into discussion questions as well. So those are our 4 books. We have many more in the pipeline. In fact, we're going to be
being that it's Valentine's week. Being that it's Valentine's week. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh yeah, no.
Is that the one that we're giving away today, Alia?
Wait, we haven't been giving away anything today. So what are we giving away today? I'm just in the chat. What would you like to give away?
The last book that Lynn was talking about is
Valentine's book.
appropriately because about.
I put a link, Alia. I sent you a link. Do you see it?
No, I don't see it. Let's see. Oh, I do see it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to put it. So this is the link to the book, and people can get it, and I'm putting it in the chat right now.
Yeah.
And I did find my picture. I don't know how great I'll be at sharing it, but
if you just pop it up there.
Okay, because I actually have lost 65 pounds this past year. So let me see. I've share my screen. Let's see if I. Uh-oh, that's not it. That's good. There we go. So you can see my rosacea as well. You can see my wheelchair and my wheelchair in storage. Whoop whoop.
Yay.
Yeah.
Walking
So-
is freedom.
Yes, it's such a great thing to be able to be done with that. And I'm coming to stop sharing. Stop sharing. Can you help me stop sharing?
But you're not sharing anything.
Okay. Okay. Did you see my picture at all?
No.
No.
Oh, really?
I thought
Okay.
you were putting it. Can you go present?
I went to present and I went to share screen and
Oh, it didn't share.
shared my screen, but do you see my Amazon page?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, then never mind. Don't worry about
So
it.
do we have questions, Alia?
We don't. We have. Let me find. I had one. Are you doing OMAD, Lynn?
It varies. I've been really learning to listen to my body, and there are times where I do OMAD, and there are other times where I'm hungry. And so I'll do anything from OMAD to eating 3 times a day. Currently, I've started to, probably maybe the last month or two, I've been eating a really hearty breakfast of like bacon and eggs. And then I will eat, before 4 p.m., I'll eat a really hearty meal of usually steak. And that's pretty much what I eat. And but it really has varied over the course of the time that I've been on it. And I haven't done more than a 24-hour fast. I've so far I've gotten a lot of healing without needing to do further fasts, but I'm not saying that wouldn't happen in the future.
Okay. Here, this is for Dr. Vasquez. It's not really a question, but I think there is a hidden question in here. It's from Lauren. I'm worried about my APA and APOB ratio being 1.2, even though Bart K says it's not to worry about. CAC was 7. CIMT was good. I don't know what that means, CIMT, but there you go.
I would probably agree with not worrying too much about it. I do like to measure things to some degree. We all know probably in the background there, Dr. Kiltz is saying, forget about it. just eat the fatty meat. CAC score of 7, that's very low, but if there was any concern, I would probably proceed to have a coronary CT angiogram. Preferably with artificial intelligence. There is such a thing now.
Oh, wow.
Just that will inform me about the soft and calcified plaques, because the CAC score only tells you what's calcified, and what's calcified is not as important as if there is any soft plaques forming. Stick with a very low carbohydrate diet, carnivore diet. We have to understand that nutrition is probably the most important thing, because you cannot change your genetics. If there is a strong family history of coronary heart disease, then something in your genes is probably promoting that. I don't think it's the cholesterol that you eat that's causing that. I think that hopefully that will be widely acknowledged within the next few years. But a lot of people there's a lot of people still promoting that. A lot of people, and the percentage is growing, that are behind it's probably the sugar and the carbohydrates.
Yep.
Although it's a multifactorial problem.
There you go. I think you answered her question. This is for Lynn. Do you want to talk about the Seattle meetup in June?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be June 7th. And we don't have a specific location yet. So what I would say is have them just kind of keep an eye on the humanity.movie website under the events tab. As soon as we have a venue, that will be posted there. It's be available. But it is in the beginning of June. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm from Washington, so it's my home state, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Oh, we lost Alia.
I didn't want to sneeze into the microphone. We've got another question. For genetic issues, can carnivore delay expression or prevent from ever experiencing the problem?
Absolutely. And this is why genetics are important. If you happen to know something in your family that has a strong history, but the manifestation of or expression, which is the proper word, like you said, is going to be different. And just because you have something in your family history, in particular things that are metabolic diseases, just because a couple of generations above you had something doesn't mean you're destined to have that. You can alter the course.
Right.
Dr. Nelson, you know what? My genetic disorders, I say I'm living life in reverse on carnivore because my genetic disorders that are supposed to be progressive, they're not any longer progressive. They're unprogressing. They're unexpressing themselves. But will I always have EDS? Yes. Will I always have these issues? Yes. But the way that my body is going to deal with them will be completely different when the structure that they're in is healthier, if that makes sense. Also, want to say I had gastric bypass surgery and I was told, oh, well, you can't do carnivore. It is very different doing carnivore with gastric bypass surgery, but there's somebody that needs to know it is possible. I just have to eat in a very different way, but it's very possible.
I think the numbers are not that small on people who have had any of the types of bariatric surgeries. They can do carnivore now. Very often, they have to probably eat more often than they want to, because there might be a maximum limit that you can't eat anymore. And but it can be done. It can be done because you just leave out the space that used to be occupied by all these vegetables and all things that are not the most nutritious, dense foods, right?
Yeah.
So we got some more questions. Are we going to have
I'm also seeing reversal of my my genetic condition too. I not MCAS isn't genetic, but I have a different genetic condition and it's actually improving too. So but both of us have experienced that.
Awesome. And my mom and my uncle have type 2 diabetes. And guess what? I'm not going to get it. I'm not getting type 2 diabetes eating this way. So there you go. Stevie Wood, are we having any meetups close to South Carolina? I don't know.
It's on our radar to get there. The closest one right now isn't that close. It's going to be Tennessee.
That's right.
Guys, you can have a meetup, but with 2 or 3 people. If you have people close, just start. I mean, you don't have to go to Texas or Brazil every time. You can go to McDonald's and order.
Go to Wendy's beef patties.
Or you in a table. So if there isn't one planned for near you, start one.
That's a good idea. Okay, so this I think is for, I guess Dr. Nelson. C, what would you recommend to eat when your blood sugar levels go low, like under 4? You can read that, especially at night. Been getting an alert on my CGM, and I've cut out all carbs. Thank you.
All right, so 4 translate roughly to about 72 or so. So I don't know if that's low. That's not low for me. But are you symptomatic? That's the question. Okay. The longer you are consuming carbohydrates, low carbohydrates or zero carbohydrates, the more tolerant you'll be of blood sugars that are on the lower side. And basically, the more ketogenic you are, the the more you tolerate dipping down below 70. Now, some people, uh, I've had plenty of people in the past, oh, doctor, I start getting shaky and having symptoms when my blood sugar is 90. I've had those.
Oh, wow.
Do you know why? Because when you spend your full day, 24 hours, 7 days a week almost, at 200 or 300, when it drops to 50, your body is saying, hey, we were having all this glucose floating around and now we don't have any. So 90 is not hypoglycemic or hypoglycemia, but it could give you the feeling. What that tells me is you're spending most of your time in 200 and 300. So,
Wow.
part, I don't want to seem mean, but I'm going to borrow Dr. Lisa's expression, toughen up, buttercup.
Toughen up, buttercup.
And
Practice makes perfect. Practice no carbs.
Dr. Nelson, that also,
as far as recommending something, if you must, because the symptoms can be bad. I don't know if you've had hypoglycemic symptoms. I've had, and you can feel really bad. So have the least amount of carbohydrates. If you must do something, I prefer that you get actually a glucose tablet from the pharmacy, which is, I believe, 4 grams or 5 grams. If you, let's say you don't have anything else at hand, and there shouldn't be, but there happens to be soda at home, don't have a gulp, don't have a cup of it, small amount. Whether if there is juice, there's never juice in the house anymore. So, if you must use something, use it in very small amounts.
Would a vegetable work? That seems better than a soda.
Well,
even though we're all against vegetables, I'm thinking, what's the greater of
the
the
thing
two
with
evils?
hypoglycemia is people want to get rid of it quickly. Those symptoms can be very distressing, and if it's real low, yeah, obviously your brain is not tolerating that low blood sugar. Vegetables or almost anything that will cause a glucose spike would help, but the thing is you want it quickly. So
can I ask you a question about that?
Yes.
So I had reactive hypoglycemia due to the gastric bypass surgery, and I was having sugar drops all the time. Sometimes I would have it if I ate sugar, if I didn't eat sugar, if I didn't eat anything, if I ate anything. And the only way to recover, and I'm sure it's because it was reactive instead of just hypoglycemia, was to eat protein. So fortunately, this stopped happening probably within 3 weeks of being on carnivore. I stopped having any sugar drops at all. And I'm one of those that's very sensitive. At 90, if my blood sugar was 91, that was too high for me. But if I was 79, that began to be too low for me. But I would get down 20, 30 and eat some protein and be good to go. So does protein help you recover with that, or is it because it's a certain type of hypoglycemia?
Okay, so anything you eat can cause your glucose to go up, right? Carbohydrates do it the most. Protein do it to a lesser degree. Fat does it as well, very small degree. What happening is your body's overreacting to the amount of glucose, secretes insulin. You're still responding to the insulin to some degree, and then down goes your blood sugar. Protein it's not that the protein is going to reverse very rapidly the hypoglycemia. It's not going to provoke further episodes, not as much as having carbohydrates. So, used to be medical school, you still probably find any books, oh, eat every 3 hours. Uh, the key is decreasing and getting used to having less carbohydrates in your diet. And that stops or reduces, because you can still, and this seems to be a little bit common on people with gastric bypass, because believe it or not, gastric bypass surgery is almost instantly a reversal of diabetes. Some people just get better right away. Some other people within a few days or weeks. And now your system is working for some reason a little bit better, right? But yes, eating protein, eating fat is not going to produce as much of a response of the insulin. And it's going to stop the next episode. But if you need to recover from this episode right now, just the best way would be having, and this mostly happens on, besides what seems to happen with gastric bypass surgery, diabetics that overcompensate with insulin, or they're using oral hypoglycemics and they were trying to eat appropriately and they transition to feeling better. You may have hypoglycemic episodes. Always have something at hand. I used to have straight candy in which now is 2 years old. I still carry it around every time I look for something else in my bag. Maybe I should get this out of here, because I didn't use them anymore.
But the key is being symptomatic. So, this person was at 72,
Yes.
not sure if they're symptomatic. 72 is not dangerous, but yeah, if you're symptomatic and at 72, you might be able to eat some protein and it'll ease its way up. It's very different than if you're 30.
Yeah, she
That's
said a
much
little
more
bit more info.
situation.
She said a little bit more info. Let me find it. Oh no, I lost it. If I find it, I'll pop it up again. We do have another question for Lynn. What was the hardest part when going carnivore?
Oh boy. I hate to be one of those people that said that I had a pretty easy transition, but I actually did. I didn't get a lot of the symptoms that a lot of people had, but probably just the getting past the sugar addiction. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but it did take a lot of me just reminding myself of how important this was to my health, because the sugar cravings were still there for a little while. But I think because I experienced so much quickly decrease in inflammation, and the head to toe pain that I always had went almost completely away within several days. So that was so powerful. I think it made it easier for me. But maybe the first few weeks, still having the sugar cravings and learning how to eat enough, I think is probably still a bit of a challenge for me because of all of the years of restrictive eating. I didn't have gastric bypass surgery, so I don't have an excuse for eating low volume. And so I'm still working on trying to get the volume of my eating up, because I think that I do need to eat more.
I personally never had the keto flu or the withdrawal from it. I've never had it. I've done keto several times in my life, and I don't know if I could say when I started carnivore, I was already fat adapted. If some people use that term a lot, probably was, but I didn't have any of the severe withdrawal symptoms, you would call them, or
Yeah.
heat of flu. But my wife
Yeah.
almost every time has it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No cravings either. I've not had any cravings, miraculously. So
Love it. That's awesome.
Uh,
Carrie has a question. Dr. Nelson, ever since starting carnivore, I have a permanent smile on my face. What can I do? It's silly.
keep smiling. Keep smiling.
Keep smiling. Laugh. Add some laughing into there. Love the good vibe, mighty tribe, and excited for Grandpa Kiltz this week. We're excited for Grandpa Kiltz also.
I'm very excited about.
I'm excited for
that.
Pilar. This is a question from Dr. Kiltz. Gastric surgery is not normal to the system. Anyway, question.
Absolutely not. You're. I know it, some people go there, and most probably go there out of desperation because they've tried everything else, and you should try everything else. I will not say to anyone that you should never, ever, ever in your life consider. But once you do it, you're changing your anatomy, and it's a permanent thing. There are some reversal surgeries. Even when you reverse it, you already changed it. And so,
as a professional patient, I say, do not do it. Just don't.
yeah, most people that have gone through it will say also the
Yes.
same thing. So,
As a retired gastroenterology nurse, I got to deal with the people who did not do well, which is way more than we were ever told going through. And I did go through the process of I was going to get gastric bypass surgery and didn't do it. They never really told me the reality, because I think that the results are measured on weight loss. And so it says, oh, it's such a great success because you lost the weight. And no one ever said all of these other issues that gastric bypass surgery have, but I got to experience that, not personally, but as a nurse working with patients, and it's pretty minimal. Sometimes they can have life-threatening complications as well.
yep, and you're altering. We have a system. We start chewing in our mouth, we swallow, goes through the esophagus, goes to the stomach, and now we're altering the absorption and the normal physiology of the stomach and the small intestine that follows, and all of that is involved in different segments where you absorb different nutrients, and there's going to be always some nutrient deficiencies. You're disfiguring the normal anatomy and physiology of our body.
And Dr. Nelson, you know what? Lynn has met me in person. Dr. Kiltz has met me in person. You haven't, but you probably see my energy enough. I've recently had all my blood work done. Not a single vitamin deficiency. All of my hormone levels.
You're carnivore now.
Right, because I'm carnivore. But just saying that, I'm supposed to have all of these deficiencies, taking these vitamins, supplements, all this stuff, and I'm not having to do that because I'm doing carnivore, and all I eat is beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. I'm a person that can do some cheese because I have to be creative to get a little more fat in. But so on gastric bypass surgery, really any weight loss surgery, if you do carnivore, you're not going to have to take all the vitamins, and you're going to feel better. And the same thing will happen to your body that happens to all the rest of the carnivores. Everything still gets healed up. This is the most hopeful and the most successful of anything I've ever done, but the most hopeful I've ever been in my entire life, of living to a ripe old age with good health and not limping around like, some lowland gorilla that can't get up off the floor.
So if there's anyone here right now that has not tried it and is afraid, okay, try it. Try it for 7 days. Try it for 30 days. Try it for 90 days. And it's not only about weight loss.
No.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even do it for weight loss.
The way so many other things get better.
You have to have a mindset too of what you're doing it for. If you're doing it for weight loss, somebody my size or doing it just for weight loss, you're going to mess yourself up mentally, emotionally. Do it for your health. Your weight will follow. Dr. Kiltz taught me that being obese has nothing to do with you being unhealthy. It's just a sign of that your body being unhealthy. It's not, in other words, being heavy is not what's making you sick. It's a
Right.
symptom of what's going on.
Absolutely. The thing that's causing your other chronic non-communicable diseases, right, is the same thing that is causing the obesity. The obesity is not the cause of any of those things. Is it present along with it? Yeah, very often it is because we're metabolically sick, but a lot
But
of
you know,
people
those of
don't.
us who tend to pack on subcutaneous fat, it's actually a very protective thing for us. It delays a lot of the disease onset, and that's been shown. So, you know, a lot of people who are lean, once they start eating a very unhealthy diet, they will get sick a lot faster than those of us who tend to pack on the pounds, as long as it's the subcutaneous fat. You know, so it's actually part of our body's defense mechanism.
Yeah. And Coach Lisa is correct. Side effect of liver disease.
That's so interesting. I'll just say, like, when I was obese, I mean, maybe I was still obese. I have no idea, depending on what the people think about what the scale says. But when I was much bigger, 3 days in carnivore, I felt 1,000 times better, but I still had the weight. So that's just, how do you feel? Like, it's important. That's just to go along with the obesity isn't the problem. It's the something else that's the problem, and that's the side effect of it. I think we did all the questions. We did all the questions. We didn't do a gift away today, but we could do a gift away. Could we gift away one of your books, Lynn? One of your children's books? All right. Well, we got 10 minutes. So let's get 107 people into this gift away. What are we going to say? Kids books? What are we going to say? Let's see.
Carnivore kids books. Are you kidding? Carnivore books.
Hashtag carnivore book. Okay, so put hashtag carnivore books. Everyone, very rapidly put hashtag carnivore books into the chat to get a chance to win one of Lynn and Amy's amazing books. Hashtag carnivore books.
Is it carnivore book or books?
Books.
It looks like carnivore says plural.
Carnivore books. Yeah, plural, because you got more than one. Carnivore books.
And so I'm going to say, which I always forget, so does Lynn, if you happen to get one of our books, go give us a review. It's not for us, but it helps other people find the books, because there are no other carnivore books. One other person that I know of has a carnivore book for children on the market. And so nobody's going to be looking for these. So giving a review really helps spread the word.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
It helps the algorithms.
Yeah, the various algorithms. Carnivore books. Yay. So, and follow on Amazon, says Dr. Kiltz. That's a great idea. You have to do carnivore books is one word, everybody. Carnivore books is one word, not two, to get you in the gift away. We got 30 people so far. Do you guys want to say anything else before we end in a few minutes? In 2 minutes, I'm going to do the drawing.
So much to say, such little time.
Well, you know, so I always tell people, because Amy's name is a lot easier to spell than mine, if you want to find all of our books, to look it up under Amy Hosp, H-O-S-P, because her last name is so much easier to spell than mine and remember. And you will find, you know, we co-wrote them, so you'll find me there as well. But that's a really quick, easy way to find the books.
Okay, awesome.
And just as a preview, tomorrow, Dr. Kiltz may or may not be here again. And
but maybe Diane Ladd will be here. Maybe Diane Ladd will be here tomorrow.
Did you get in contact with her?
Not yet. I just arrived and went to sleep. I didn't even send you guys the link. She will arrive. We'll have another guest tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I think Dr. Kiltz will be here. And we have Lee Kopis Thursday morning. And then Julie Collins Friday. So baby will be here soon. I remember this. This is the point where in the pregnancy where the mom hates everybody asking, where's the baby? I just want to answer that. Libya, I live outside of Cali, Colombia. There you go. Diane Ladd, I don't know if she made movies from years ago. I don't think so.
It is the
There
same
is an
name.
actress.
It is the same name, not the same person. But her name is exactly like the actress.
Oh, okay. And she's gorgeous. She looks like she could be an actress, Diane Ladd.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, Dr.
she's
Nelson,
beautiful.
are we sharing our age by knowing that?
Notice I didn't say anything.
In case I haven't repeated it enough, next Saturday is my birthday. I will be 65. Not as old as Dr. Kiltz, who always says he's almost 70. But you heard me over the weekend, right? Dr. Kiltz is so old that when he went to school, there was no history class. It was called current events.
That was funny. He's a little comedian, Dr. Nelson. Okay, guys, it's time to do the giveaway. It's hashtag Carnivore Books. We're going to present it. We're going to share the screen. Give me a second. Giveaway. Here we go. Here we're doing the drawing. Who's going to win a beautiful book from Lynn and Amy today? Rob Kiltz.
For the baby. For the baby.
Congratulations, Dr. Kiltz. It's for the baby. Okay, good. Love it. I'll order it for him today and ship it over. That's so funny. All right. Well, it's just about an hour. I want to thank everybody. We have 100 people watching. Thank Amy for being here. Lynn, it's like 3 a.m. for her now, right? Is it 3 a.m., Lynn?
Yeah.
She stayed up all night to do this with us. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amy and Lynn, for being here. I know, especially as you move towards the West Coast, it's a lot inconvenient. I know there are people. I mean, I'm surprised also that Carrie's here because he is in Wisconsin, and that's what Central.
It's Central.
Yeah.
It's only 5 a.m. right now over there. It's okay.
But thank you
I'm going to bed.
And Amy.
I'm going to go back to bed too. No, I'm just joking.
Thanks, Dr. Nelson, for inviting us today.
Carrie
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Oh, here's Dr. Kiltz. And he's muted. 1 second, Dr.
No,
Kiltz.
you're muted.
You got to unmute your mic, Dr. Kiltz.
Thank you to all. I'm just going to do this from now on. This is like a lot more fun.
It's the Alia and Nelson show now.
I love it.
Dr.
I love it.
Kiltz's
Oh,
channel.
and Harold's going to love the books. Love the books.
Yay.
Yay! I love that. Okay. Well, I guess it's time. We're gonna say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. We love you all.
You have a great day, everyone.